If you want to hear the beginning parts of this investigation, by all means, go check it out. But here, this is where we are right now. So, on July 21st, Congress authorized a new department. President Roosevelt officially approved the Hoover Airport site on September 2nd. Construction for the Pentagon started 9 days later. How do you select a site and construction starts days later on such an immense, enormous building, the second largest office building in the world, apparently? My stupid ass thought it was the biggest. The project went through the approval process in late July 1941. Somerville selected the contractors, including John McShane, blah, 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 blah. In addition to the Hoover Airport site and other government-owned land, construction of the Pentagon required an additional 287 acres, which were acquired at the cost of $2.2 million, equivalent to $35.2 million in 2023. The Hell's Bottom neighborhood, consisting of numerous pawn shops, factories, approximately 150 homes, and other buildings around Columbia Pike, was cleared to make way for the Pentagon. Later, 300 acres of land were transferred to Arlington National Cemetery and to Fort Myer, leaving 280 acres for the Pentagon. To large ships and buildings. The Pentagon is a little bit smaller than the Empire State Building is tall. Like from one point to the other point. Okay. Contracts totaling $31,100,000, equivalent to $497 million in 2023, were finalized with McShane and other contractors on September 11th. The ground was broken for the Pentagon the same day. Does that make sense to you? Seriously, you guys, does this make sense? Contracts were finalized and ground was broken the same day. So this McShane Construction Company had all of its workers already there and all that shit, just waiting for the contracts to be finalized? Are you serious? Among the design requirements, Somerville required that the structural design accommodate floor loads of up to 150 psi in case the building became a records storage facility after the end of the war. They were just going to fucking build this massive $497 million building in today's money because they thought after the war they weren't going to use it anymore, so it was just going to be a records storage place. Does anybody... It's this kind of shit that just, it's so insulting. It's so insulting to think anybody would believe this shit.
We can do the impossible.
Bitch, what you doing?
The things once thought illogical, we prove and prove away. The lines we saw
Take another one.
Space evolutions in your
Oh, I would have taken it if I knew there was two in there. Bitch. A minimal, did you know, listen to this, contracts totaling 31,100,000 equivalent to $497 million in 2023 were finalized with the construction company of the Pentagon.
No.
They were finalized and ground was broken on the same day. Does that make sense?
That's pretty fast.
You finalize the contracts and then, like, who's gonna do all of that without the guarantee of payment and everything?
I just want
Who's, how?
whatever you conclude.
They, not only that, they selected the site for the Pentagon on September 2nd. 9 days later, contract finalized and the ground broke. I guess they didn't need permits and all that other shit, right?
They just did it preemptively.
Well, it was on an accelerated schedule because of the war. So, yeah.
You may find out
Here's
you're
the grid
not
again.
Makes sense, doesn't it? It's believable, and I'm crazy with my Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Seriously, make this make sense, people?
once you stop the last.
A minimal amount of steel was used as it was in short supply. Instead, the Pentagon was built as a reinforced concrete structure. You need steel to make concrete. You have to have rebar all throughout, and then you have to be able to you know, all of the paneling and shit. Yeah, there might be wood associated with the paneling, but it's also steel. It's metal, you know, metal framed. It has to be able to stand up to the weight of the concrete, the expanding concrete, pushing out in all directions. Like this is just stupid. This is stupid.
Leave it. Isn't that what you're wondering? Aren't you bummed?
I wonder where Matt is. Matt should be getting on break here soon, shouldn't he?
Looking for an opinion, die on your cross. It's time to quit.
Using 680 tons of sand dredged from the Potomac River. So shouldn't that have made the Potomac River like exponentially bigger, deeper? What? A lagoon was also created beneath the Pentagon's river entrance. A lagoon was created?
I've questioned if queer shapes my choice. I wish my voice.
I guess that 1940s construction was just on fucking point, right? To minimize steel usage, concrete ramps were built rather than installing elevators. Indiana limestone was used for the building's facade. How would you transport all of that fucking Indiana limestone to Arlington, Virginia? Especially considering you just planned it. Like the order for the fucking, it would have taken at least a month for all of it to get there. And what was the process? I have to know. I mean, I'm assuming they'll say it was loaded on trains, but that doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't solve, like, I know it's not the same as these early 1900s because you can't say, oh, the power tools and lack of vehicles. But in the 40s, we weren't fucking firing on all cylinders, you know? Architectural and structural design work for the Pentagon proceeded simultaneously with construction, with initial drawings provided in early October 1941. How do you even begin to ground break for a building that you don't have the design of yet? Look at this. We got the Chuck Woolery 2 and 2 thing happening right now. 2 views, two likes. Totally makes sense. And most of the design work completed by June 1st, 1942. At times, the construction work got ahead of the design with materials used other than those specified in the plans. How? I mean, just because you're given a narrative doesn't mean it's true or it makes sense. Pressure to speed up design and construction intensified after the attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7, 1941. Isn't it convenient that the reason this thing was constructed is because they anticipated the United States involvement in the war, and then, 2 months later, 3 months later, 3 months later, well, basically. A good thing that fucking attack on Pearl Harbor happened, huh? Wouldn't have worked out as well if it didn't. With Summerall demanding that 1 million square feet of space at the Pentagon be available for occupation by April 1943. Chief Architect Bergstrom resigned, of course. Because this is the story that you get in every single one of these. The original architect dies or quits or whatever, and yet there's no interruption to the process whatsoever. I think the Pentagon has to be one of the most, if not the most insane Tartaria building narratives we're given. I mean, I know we get bullshit like the Empire State Building being built in 400 days and, shit like that. But this is way bigger. This is as big as it gets. So there's 3 people commenting at least, and yet I have 1 viewer and 2 likes. Me. Makes sense. In April 1942, Chief Architect Bergstrom resigned in April 42 after he was charged with unrelated improper conduct as president of the American Institute of Architects. What improper conduct was he charged with? Tell me this is just another pedo, right? Let's take a break real quick and let's go back to Bergstrom and see if we can find out what he was actually charged with. Bergstrom. It's not going to have anything in here, is it? I mean, listen to this guy's fucking story. American architect who designed many buildings in Los Angeles, California. He also designed the Pentagon. Because that's who you hire, the guy from LA. Bergstrom was born in Nihao, Wisconsin, of Norwegian immigrant ancestry. His father, George O. Bergstrom, was a prominent businessman and local politician. The Bergstroms lived in the Bergstrom home, now known as the George O. Bergstrom House, is listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. George Edwin Bergstrom attended Phillips Andover Academy. Again, look into Andover Academy. And, both George Bushes went there. Right? Google says submarines are indeed real. Yes, they do. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. It'll also tell you that they built the Pentagon in 14 months. Over 2 winters, too. So this is a prime example of how Construction starts in September, goes all the way through to, past the first, into December, and it ends in January of the following year, or the following year. So that means the majority of the construction for the Pentagon was done in the wintertime. Why are they, when they try showers, construction, photos, old building, it's just them repainting it or cleaning it up? Yes. They don't even have that, though. I mean, seriously. Again, a lot of the times you hear these narratives like these buildings built in the 20s and 30s and shit, and it's like there's, it's difficult to believe, and you go, like they've been able to build, or they've been able to take pictures since at least the 1850s. And they like to take pictures of all sorts of things. But documenting the construction of the Pentagon, the second largest building in the world, the second largest office building in the world, nobody thought to take pictures of that? There should be a very, very well documented history of the construction of the Pentagon if it was in fact built from 41 to 43. This is a joke. This is a joke, man. Belch. I didn't look into this beforehand. I don't know what this is going to say. This could easily make me look stupid. Uh-oh. He did Operation Kirk. Charles Minute, another new song. I'm so excited. Let's see. Andover College graduated Yale of class of 1896. Would be willing to bet he's skull and bones. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in 1899. Bergstrom settled in Los Angeles, California in 1901. In 1903, he married the former Nancy Kimberly, daughter of John A. Kimberly, a co-founder of Kimberly-Clark. They had two children, Alice Cheney Bergstrom and George Edwin Bergstrom. Alice Cheney Bergstrom. What do you think that it was? Photoshop was invented by an Iranian named Alex. No, it wasn't. They've been able to manipulate photos since they've been able to take them. From 1905 to 1915, Bergstrom was in partnership with architect John Parkinson. John B. Parkinson. The firm of Parkinson and Bergstrom designed numerous public and private buildings throughout Southern California and designed many of the major office and commercial buildings erected in downtown LA during this period. Among these were Los Angeles Athletic Club, the Alexandria Hotel, I'm trying to find some pictures of it. Decline in use for boxing events, restoration and historic recognition. There's no fucking pictures of it. That's really weird. Hotel Alexandria. What the fuck is this? Oh.
Shifty, I'm Ipsy, and your mercy's my rival. You swim in denial. Meanwhile,
And the original building of Bullock's department store, Bullock's. That's pretty funny. The firm also received commissions for major projects as distant as Salt Lake City. First for the Kearns building, of course. The Kearns building, built in 1909. It was built in 1909. Yeah, of course. This is the Kearns building in 1911. 10-story building, constructed between 1909 and 1911. 10-story building. Erected in 1911 for Senator Thomas Kearns, a mining, newspaper, railroad, and banking magnate, and later the Hotel Utah, now the Joseph Smith Memorial Building. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he built that too.
like balls of light bouncing at night. Life.
They would have photo records of the laying of the cornerstone of the foundation, such as the Masonic building. Exactly. That would absolutely be a big deal. You know, this really is fucking silly, man. After establishing his own practice in 1915, Bergstrom continued designing buildings throughout the region. Buildings included the John C. Fremont High School, which is that. He's building high schools, huh? Redlands High School. So he's building like that Joseph Smith Memorial Building, this giant fucking you can't it's building. Wait, let's see. Joseph Smith Memorial Building. Built from 1909 to 1911.
If it is, who am I to say you're wrong? Continue along the path you're on, bouncing around.
Hotel Utah, 1925. Built in, again, a 2-year period, probably more like a year and a half.
One day be kissing. Imagine the damage, the fact that we managed to handle this challenge.
Temple has gone through history from 1909 to 1911. The General Tithing Office, a church, a bishop's storehouse, and a Desert News printing plant all were located on the site.
Not very believable, but then again.
Work on the second Renaissance Revival style hotel designed by Los Angeles architectural firm of Parkinson and Bergstrom began in June of 1909. 2 years later, on June 9th, 1911, the hotel. So that one was almost exactly 2 years. 2 years and 1 day to build this monstrosity in Utah, out in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? Now he's building fucking high schools. He designed buildings for the Elks Club and the Commercial Club in downtown Los Angeles, and collaborated with architect William Lee Woolett, 1874 to 1955, on Grumman's Metropolitan Theater, later called the Paramount Theater. Oh, so he's one of these guys that built the big theaters from back in the day. Of course, and that's what that one looked like. Let's see. Guess when that one was built? 1921 to 1923. Another one of these huge buildings built in 2 fucking years.
What's left to learn? Why should I concern myself like I do the course with adjournment?
Downtown Los Angeles Paramount Theater opened as Grumman's Metropolitan Theater on January 26, 1923. So actually, it's more like a year in something, because if it opened in January, that means 1923 doesn't get counted as a year. And there's no actual, like, there's no prior to, when did they design it? When did they break construction? We don't fucking know. Just built from 1921. Sometime in 1921, it was started, and by January 26th, it was ready to go. This is fucking insane, you guys. Oh wait, did he say? Wait. This says the building was financed by the Hill Street Fireproof Building Company. So this one was fireproof, so it wouldn't be destroyed by a fire like so many of these other buildings. If you don't think it's fucking strange by now that every single one of these old school buildings is said to have been built in 2 years or at the most, what are you doing? Modern day construction takes longer than 2 years. With all of the advantages we have, while also not creating intricate buildings made of stone that can last forever, and they're ornate top to bottom, inside and out. Think about how fucking wild that is, man. I got stuck looking up this guy's shit. Let's see. One of his most notable buildings of this period was the Pasadena Civic Auditorium. Because, fuck yeah, why not? Let's see when this one was built. Built in 1931. That's it. The Civic Auditorium, one of the major structures of the Pasadena Civic Center District, was built in 1931. That's it. That's all you get as far... Oh, yeah. Look at that. Because they were just... This was just what they could do back then. This building with no inner support, it all supports itself, has this ornate fucking roof and all these big seats. It's a giant theater complex, right? Has one of the organs in it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's just more of the structure. This was built in 1 year. Look at that shit. 1 year. It's embarrassing to think anybody believes this shit, man. Which he designed in association with architects Cyril Bennett and Fitch Haskell. Between 25 and 31, Bergstrom associated on the Pasadena Civic Auditorium with the Pasadena architectural firm of Haskell and Bennett, which was composed of John Cyril Bennett and okay, you just said that. The firm Bergstrom and Whitmer Associates was in operation from 41 to 43. Bergstrom and David J. Whitmer. We can't seem to find any history on David J. Whitmer. He's got one of those weird red pages that they have marked, but there's no page for him yet. So why would they have it marked? It's stupid. It's just stupid. Bergstrom and David J. Whitmer, 1888 to 1873. This guy was old as shit, 85 years old. Acted as chief architects for the Pentagon building. So this was a firm. So let me get this right. The Bergstrom Whitmer company that was selected to be used to build the Pentagon, which primarily Bergstrom worked in the West and got as far as Utah sometimes. The company that they decided to go with was founded in the same year that they were selected. They couldn't pick a better company. There wasn't a more experienced company that could be used. And the company was literally only in existence. Their firm was only in existence for the Pentagon. Why would you want to believe this? Bergstrom and Whitmer did the basic design work in a remarkably short time. Good thing they pointed that out. In a remarkably short time, during 1941, between July 7th and July 22nd.
But the thing is, she's been missing with a convenient operation.
The basic design work for the Pentagon took 5 days.
So this verse is the one where the metaphors fall behind. No more cheeks with tongue. Have you
Like, you can disagree with me on all kinds of
blind? We seem to see what they want.
philosophy. You can even be one of you dumbass pedophiles and shit.
You know you're not alone. Support goes
You could be a dumbass piece of shit Jew all day long. You believe this? This makes sense like a guy having 2, 3 viewers and 4 likes. These things make sense to you? Bergstrom was replaced as chief architect by Whitmer in April of 42 following Bergstrom's resignation due to unrelated charges of improper conduct while he was president of the American Institute of Architects. What does that mean? What does improper conduct mean?
On her husband being shady, not the porn star payouts given. But the thing is, she's been missing with a convenient operation. If lies are all we're living, then death is their salvation. Think about it. He cheated on his wife, and they have her hidden.
Improper contact refers to behavior or actions that are wrong, unlawful, or violate established rules, norms, or ethical standards in a given context, such as a professional setting, workplace, or professional capacity. It is a broad term encompassing behaviors from minor infractions like unacceptable language to serious offenses such as harassment or criminal acts.
You were so mad when Clinton seduced the intern, but now here's that Trump paid a porn star.
Wow, that's insane. Active in civic affairs, Bergstrom served as president of the Municipal Housing Commission for several years and was a member of the Municipal Art Commission. He also served as the chairman of the advisory board of the University of Southern California's School of Architecture. He was president of the Southern California chapter of the American Institute of Architects for 2 years and served 3 years as director of the institute. Active in numerous clubs and civic organizations, he served as director of the Los Angeles Athletic Club and was president of the Allied Architects Association of Los Angeles. Like, a lot of you think LA and Southern California are close. It takes hours in modern day times to drive from Southern California to LA. This is the 30s and 40s and shit. What are we talking about? He died in 1955.
What's happening?
I really wish I could find out what he actually got in trouble for.
Come in tomorrow. I almost forgot. Why don't you go ahead?
Alfred Goldberg,
on Sunday?
the Pentagon, the first 50 years of office secretary.
I need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. I almost forgot. Why don't you go ahead and come in on Sunday?
Isn't it interesting that it's just fucking improper behavior? That's all it is. So we don't actually know what they replaced. The head architect of the Pentagon, who drew up the basic designs in 5 days, who signed the finalized contracts the day they broke ground, and whose construction company was basically created to do the Pentagon. They didn't think, let's use an established firm. They used a firm that was created. And then what kind of liability would you have with a firm that was created for this specific project? Just seems amazing. It's unbelievable. That's the thing. It's just not a believable narrative.
And if done just enough, you might get a promotion. This office space sucks. Han Solo, no lotion. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow.
Okay, so we're back to this. The chief architect resigned in April of 1942 after he was charged with unrelated improper conduct as president of the American Institute of Architects. David J. Whitmer replaced Bergstrom on April 11th. Construction was completed in January 15th, 1943. They signed the contracts. They designed it from July 17th to July 22nd of 41. The site was selected on September 2nd, 1941, and 9 days later, they finalized the contracts and began building it on September 11th, 1941, and it was completed 14 months later. They built the Pentagon, the fucking Pentagon, the second largest building in the world, in 14 fucking months. Are you out of your fucking mind? Why would anyone ever believe that? Like, that doesn't, you could be the most die-hard America first, government doesn't lie. How does anybody with any sort of common sense, and we're talking about, remember they say it's a reinforced concrete structure. Concrete takes time to dry. How do you build a concrete mega structure in 14 months? How is all that concrete dry? Doesn't this register with you that something isn't right about the narrative? Soil conditions of the site. On the Potomac River floodplain, and it's built in a floodplain. Soil conditions of the site on the Potomac floodplain presented challenges, as did varying elevations across the site, which ranged from 10 to 40 feet above sea level. And remember, there are 2 basement levels that they tell us about. Go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg.group.com. The link is in the description. I'm putting it in there beforehand now, so you can go now if you really having such a hard time figuring it out. The Great Pyramid is only half the height of the Eiffel Tower and took supposedly 20 years to build. Just 20 years. The Eiffel Tower. Go look at the construction photos of the Eiffel Tower. You tell me you believe that shit. Go look at the construction photos of the Pentagon. Oh, wait. They didn't bother taking any. 2 retaining walls were built to compensate for the elevation variations, and cast-in-place piles were used to deal with the soil conditions. So they're saying it's basically not very ideal conditions for putting a building to begin with. Construction of the Pentagon was completed in approximately 16 months. No. September, October, November, December. Okay. And then January. So 14 months. Started in 15 months tops. Because I guess you got to go January 26th, September 11th, January. So, 4 months and like 15 days or some shit.
I'd like to do a song of great social and political import. My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime.
Approximately 16 months at a total cost of $83 million, equivalent to $1.33 billion in 2023. The building's approximate height is 77 feet at each of its 5 sides, and each of its 5 sides 921 feet in length. Perfect geometrical fucking precision. The building was built wedge by wedge, because that's what makes sense, right? Each wedge was occupied as soon as it was completed, even as construction continued on the remaining wedges. You know, while all that concrete's just drying. The Pentagon was designed in accordance with the racial segregation laws in force in the state of Virginia at the time, with separate eating and lavatory accommodations for white and black persons.
My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime. No help from my friends. So Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? That's it. Thanks, James.
The Pentagon's cafeteria was segregated by race until May of 1942, when black ordnance worker Jimmy Harold, a draftsman and engineer, refused to eat in the blacks-only cafeteria at the Pentagon. He and a number of other black workers continued to eat in the whites-only cafeteria for several days until things turned violent as Jimmy Harold was beaten by a white security guard. Gotta love that American history we are so proud of, right? Don't worry, we'll take you guys out soon enough. You guys, your cult will be eliminated soon enough. It's happening all around you. Everyone, everywhere is talking about, hey, wait a minute, why do we let these Jews violate us so much? It's everywhere. It's your whole fucking illusion is falling apart, which is why you spend so much effort trying to convince people not to watch me. Upon hearing about this, General Brehan B. Somerville ordered for there to be discontinuance of any enforced segregation of Negro employees in the cafeterias of the Pentagon building. When Roosevelt visited the facility before its dedication, he ordered removal of the whites-only signs in the segregated areas. When the governor of Virginia protested, Roosevelt's administration responded that the Pentagon, although on Virginia land, was under federal jurisdiction. In addition, its military and civilian federal employees were going to comply with the president's policies. As a result, the Pentagon was the only building in Virginia where racial segregation laws were not enforced. These laws were not overturned until 1965. You better stay stars and bars, baby. Stars and bars. The side-by-side sets of restrooms still exist, but have been integrated in practice since the building was occupied. The Hall of Heroes. On the buildings, man, in the Hall of Honor. Main concourse is the Hall of Heroes, opened in '68, dedicated to more than 3,460 recipients of the Medal of Honor of the U.S. Who gives a fuck? Renovation. From 1998 to 2011. So the building that took around 14 months to complete it took what? Like 13 years? 13 years to renovate it? It takes 13 years to renovate a building that took 14 months to build in the 1940s? During wartime? Why would you believe this? Seriously, why would any of you believe this? Wow, this is fucking wild, man. From 1998 to 2001, the Pentagon was completely gutted and reconstructed in phases to bring it up to modern standards and improve security and efficiency. Asbestos was removed and all office windows were sealed. Wow, that's fucking insane. That's fucking insane. As originally built, most Pentagon office space consisted of open bays which spanned an entire ring. These offices used cross ventilation from operable windows instead of air conditioning for cooling. Gradually, bays were subdivided into private offices, with many using window air conditioning units. Bet that was safe. With renovations now complete, the new space includes a return to open office bays and a new universal space plan of standardization office furniture and partitions. Does that even fucking mean? Protests. These are the incidents. During the late 60s, the Pentagon became a focal point for protests against the Vietnam War. A group of 2,500 women, organized by Women Strike for Peace, demonstrated outside Secretary of Defense Robert S. McNamara's office at the Pentagon on February 15, 1967. In May of 67, a group of 20 demonstrators held a sit-in outside the Joint Chiefs of Staff office, which lasted 4 days before they were arrested. In one of the better-known incidents, on October 21st, 1967, some 35,000 anti-war protesters organized by the National Mobilization Committee to End the War in Vietnam. 35,000 people. Where did they park? How did they get there? Where did they stay? Who paid for their hotel? 35,000 protesters. So then all of those protesters probably had a home back where they came from. Who paid the bills at their home? Who paid their house payment? Who paid their electric bills? Who paid their heating bills? Do you ever question these things? Who paid for the gas to get there? Where did they park? Where did they stay? Again, all these things. These seem like reasonable questions that anyone would ask when told some information, but nobody ever seems to.
Imagine you could fly or swim into forever. Would the man inside the sky bless you any better than giving you a tether while keeping
Gathered for a demonstration at the Defense Department, the march in the Pentagon. They were confronted by some 2,500 armed soldiers during the protest. A famous picture was taken where George Harris placed carnations into the soldiers' gun barrels. The march concluded with an attempt to exorcise the building. They won't mind. They won't mind if he plays on it. Okay.
This is mad. I said, dropping you off, I'll pick you up when you're done. I'm not sure.
Why are you her taxi?
Wants me to make sure Alvin knows what the same exact
Well, I guess when you go to get her, you can get me food.
Imagine you could fly or swim into forever. Would the man inside the sky bless you any better?
So check this
He had
out.
to pay for his class t-shirt.
From 1998 to 2001, the Pentagon was gutted.
Wait, from when?
From 1998 to 2011, the Pentagon was gutted and reconstructed in phases to bring it up to modern day standards and improve security.
13 years?
13 years to renovate it.
Model.
Took 14 months to complete. Start to finish. 15 months if you include all of the planning, because it took. They built the base. They came up with the basic design. So the Pentagon decided to use a company that was mainly, well, the main guy was based in L.A. but he started a company with this other guy in 1941, a firm. So the Pentagon decided to use a firm that was created the same year that the construction began. And they designed the basic designs for the Pentagon in July, before the site was selected, from July 17th to July 22nd.
So
5 days.
they blew out the back of my house and put a whole second story on it.
Modern day equipment.
Modern day equipment. It took them about 3 months to do it. And it was just one little house adding like 2,000 square feet.
Not out of concrete. The structure is reinforced concrete. Did you know that concrete can dry in 14 months apparently? Have fun. This song was created by Robert Margouleff, the guy who made the Stevie Wonder album that had all those great songs on it. He actually made this song, apparently. Might have been one of his lackeys, but cost me a shit ton of money, I'll tell you that. Wish I never did it. He's a piece of shit. On May 19th, 1972, the Weather Underground Organization bombed a fourth-floor women's restroom in retaliation for the Nixon administration's bombing of Hanoi in the final stages of Vietnam War. So they bombed a bathroom. On March 17th, 2007, 4,000 to 15,000 people. Estimates vary. How do you not know the difference between 4,000 and 15,000 people? That's 4 times the amount of people. Are you who believes this shit? Obviously, all of these narratives are fake. Estimates vary. Protested the Iraq War by marching from the Lincoln Memorial to the Pentagon's north parking lot. All right, here's something we wanted to know. On September 11, 2001, coincidentally, the 60th anniversary of the Pentagon's start of construction, coincidentally, 5 Al-Qaeda affiliated hijackers took control of American Airlines Flight 77 en route from Washington Dulles Airport to Los Angeles International Airport and deliberately crashed a Boeing 757 airliner into the western side of the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. Eastern as part of the September 11th attacks. The impact of the plane severely damaged the outer ring of one wing of the building and caused its partial collapse. At the time of the attacks, the Pentagon was under renovation and many offices were unoccupied, resulting in fewer casualties. Due to the renovation work, only 800 people were there as opposed to the usual 4,500. Furthermore, the area hit on the side of the heliport facade was the section best prepared for such an attack. The renovation there, improvements, which resulted from the Oklahoma City bombing, had nearly been complete. You know, the Oklahoma City bombing, April 19th, 1995, the thing that everybody just forgets about. The only place where they hit the plane, or the only place where it was reinforced for such attacks, is the place where they just happened to hit it. If they would have hit it anywhere else, it would have been a lot worse. This is insane. It was the only area of the Pentagon with a sprinkler system. How convenient. And it had been reconstructed with a web of steel columns and bars to withstand bomb blasts. The steel reinforcement bolted together to form a continuous structure through all of the Pentagon's 5 floors, kept that section of the building from collapsing for 30 minutes. Right? That little tiny hole that the 747 supposedly fit in. Enough time for hundreds of people to crawl out to safety. The area struck by the plane also had blast-resistant windows, 2-inch thick and 2,500 pounds each, that stayed intact during the crash and fire. Oh, that's why it didn't look like a plane hit it. It had fire doors that opened automatically and newly built exits that allowed people to get out. Man, they couldn't have picked a worse spot to hit, could they? Oh, look, the only actual pictures they show, none of them show the hole, the tiny little hole that was said to exist. Yep, the 757 that didn't have wings or a tail section. Remember? The wings had to have folded in upon themselves and the tail section had to have flattened. And it would have had to have shrank by significant. Like only the nose cone would have been able to go in. Contractors already involved in the renovation were given the added task of rebuilding the sections that damaged in the attacks. The additional project was named the Phoenix Project and was charged with having the outermost offices of the damaged section occupied by the September. Oh, God damn it. And was charged with having the outermost offices of the damaged section occupied by September 11th, 2002. So they had a year to build that one section. Rebuild it. It took them a year to rebuild the section. When the damaged section of the Pentagon was repaired, a small indoor memorial and chapel were added at the point of impact. Oh, a chapel. Oh, no little mosque or anything, or no Jewish thing. Gosh, that's amazing. They said the wings came off on that doesn't sound like BS. Yeah, the wings came off, weren't anywhere to be seen. And if they came off on impact, then there would have been marks. And the engines, of course, disappeared as well. Everything, those big giant Rolls-Royce engines that just evaporated. For the 5th anniversary of September 11th attacks, a memorial of 184 beams of light shone up from the center courtyard of the Pentagon. One life for each victim. In addition, an American flag is hung each year on the side of the Pentagon, blah, blah, blah. After the attack, plans were developed for an outdoor memorial. Who gives a fuck? The benches, blah, blah, blah. May 23rd bombing hopes. In May 2023, a fake news report claiming that the Pentagon had been bombed went viral, causing confusion and panic. I don't remember hearing this. The misinformation was based on a fabricated image of an explosion near the Pentagon. Who gives a fuck? And that's it. That's all the history you get on the construction of the Pentagon. Who thinks it makes sense?
Let's all go.
That shit bothers the. Oh, we're fucking with it now? I'm supposed to. All this other. And that's the narrative. This is from 1943. You can't even hide behind the wall. It was a different time in the early 1900s. 8 years ago. About